I'm Danielle, 32. Standing on the patio of the country club, I watched as my family's jaws dropped in disbelief as two sleek helicopters landed on the lawn. The sound of the rotors drowned out their shocked whispers, and I couldn't help but smile. This was the moment I'd been waiting for. It all started at my dad's 70th birthday party. My mother, always the social climber, had given me that pitying smile and said, "We've put you on the patio, dear. The main dining room is for, well, you understand." I looked through the French doors and saw my siblings, Ethan and Olivia, dressed in their designer finery, celebrating their latest business triumphs. Ethan, 35, was boasting about his new real estate deal, while Olivia, 33, flaunted her upcoming fashion line in a major magazine. I smoothed my simple yet expensive black dress, a far cry from Olivia's gaudy outfit. My mother nervously adjusted her pearls and said, "It's just your modest career choices. We thought you'd be more comfortable away from all the business talk." Little did they know that I'd been secretly building a tech empire, StarTech Industries, while they thought I was just tinkering with computers. Ethan, with a smug smirk, called out through the door, "The patio is for failures, sis. But at least you can watch the real success from there." I discreetly checked my phone. There were 3 missed calls from my executive team about an emergency board meeting. The acquisition we'd been working on for months was on the verge of closing, with $8 billion at stake. Olivia sashayed out, champagne in hand. "Darling, you really should let me help you with your wardrobe. This simplicity won't get you anywhere. How can you expect to be taken seriously?" I bit back a smile, thinking about the upcoming Forbes cover shoot with the headline, "The Rise of Danielle, StarTech's Silent Billionaire." My dad, with that disappointed tone in his voice, called out, "Sure you won't join us?" Ethan's about to share his vision for expanding the family business. The family business, a real estate firm, was being run into the ground by Ethan, who claimed to be achieving unprecedented success. Unbeknownst to them, I'd secretly bought the firm last month through a shell company. I replied, "I'm fine here," as I checked my watch. In 15 minutes, everything would change. Ethan launched into his grand plans for $50 million in development deals next year, acting like he was a business genius. Then I heard the distant sound of helicopter blades. My phone lit up with an urgent message, "Board assembled, waiting on CEO." As my black helicopter with the StarTech logo came into view, my family's expressions shifted from annoyance to shock. My head of security approached me on the patio. "Miss Danielle, the board is assembled. A time-sensitive situation requires your immediate attention." I stood up and said, "The acquisition papers are ready. $8 billion pending my signature, and the Asian markets open in 3 hours." The sound of shattering glass caught my attention. Ethan had dropped his champagne flute, his face pale as he realized the magnitude of what was happening. My dad stepped onto the patio, his authority wavering. "What exactly is going on?" I pulled out my phone to show the breaking news. StarTech Industries in final stages of $8 billion acquisition led by Danielle. I casually replied, "Just some business that needs my attention. You know, that little computer thing you never bothered to ask about." Ethan sputtered, "You can't be the CEO of StarTech Industries." I finished his sentence, "The same StarTech that's been buying up tech companies across the globe and secretly bought your failing real estate firm last month." Olivia stepped forward and asked, "Why didn't you tell us?" I laughed softly. Like when you told people I was just playing around with a startup, or when Ethan told his partners not to waste time on my tech projects. My phone buzzed again. Another urgent message from my team. My head of security gently reminded me that the board was waiting. I picked up my simple leather briefcase, the one Olivia had mocked earlier. My mother, suddenly eager to please, said, "Perhaps we should rearrange the seating. The head of the table is more appropriate for someone of your position." I turned back and said, "Now you want me at the head of the table?" After years of backhanded comments and treating me like a failure, Ethan tried to salvage the situation, saying, "Sis, we should discuss this. Maybe explore some synergies between our businesses." I raised an eyebrow and said, "You mean the business I already own? The one you nearly bankrupted?" Just then, another helicopter arrived with the final contracts. Olivia whispered, "Two helicopters?" I said casually, "When you're closing an $8 billion deal, you need proper transportation." After my dramatic exit, my phone buzzed constantly with messages from my family. Ethan wanted to discuss the real estate firm's future. Olivia offered to style me for the Forbes shoot, and my parents talked about my role in the family legacy. I forwarded them all to my assistant with a note, "Archive under too little, too late." The next day, I received a flood of texts when they saw my feature in Fortune magazine. They wanted an emergency family meeting, but I replied that I was too busy being successful. I even made an offer to buy the country club where they'd exiled me to the patio. The following morning, they arrived at their favorite lunch spot to find new ownership notices, a StarTech Industries property, owned by Danielle. Now, whenever I receive an invitation to a family function, it comes with a note saying the head of the table is reserved for me. But I always send back my regrets along with a copy of my latest acquisition report. Because in the end, success isn't about where you sit at dinner. It's about building your own empire, just like I did. Welcome to my world.